Fired Junelle Bromfield shuts down haters. Noah Lyles' fiancée stands strong against criticism. In the electric glare of international sport, where every sprint is scrutinized and every relationship amplified, few stories burn brighter than that of Junelle Bromfield. Jamaican sprinter, Olympic and World Championships medalist, survivor. In a world full of noise, whispers, and sometimes outright attacks, she stands strong. This is her story of resilience, love, and owning her worth. The beginnings, talent, promise, and early adversity. Born in Black River, Jamaica, Junelle Bromfield was running long before she really knew the weight of expectations. From her early days representing Jamaica, on the track since she was just about 8 years old, she showed promise that carried her to podiums, medals in the Olympics, world relays, global meets. But talent, even when obvious, doesn't inoculate someone from criticism. By the time she was in her mid-20s, Bromfield was competing not just against sprinters, but also against narratives and assumptions about identity, about ambition, about loyalty. The criticism, where it comes from and why it hurts. What triggered much of the public backlash was her relationship with Noah Lyles, a dominant American sprinter, and more so, comments he made that suggested Bromfield had inside knowledge of Jamaican training camps. To many in Jamaica, it felt like betrayal. To others, it was colorism rearing its head, judging someone for skin tone, or seeing them as less if they aligned with an outsider. In one interview, Bromfield expressed her surprise that in a country of black people, colorism still looms large. There were accusations, sellout, traitor, people who had never met her, never seen her smile, never heard her beliefs, yet felt entitled to judge her. Some online abuse grew so ugly she even got death threats. The response, silence broken and strength shown. But Junelle didn't shut down. She spoke up. She let people know that she is proud of her Jamaican roots, proud of her accomplishments, and not ashamed to be with someone whose nationality is different. That sharing a private conversation, or being associated with a partner's comments, shouldn't translate automatically into betrayal. That the haters often attack from behind screens, from places of assumption. She forces them to reckon with reality, her achievements, her values, her dignity. She has posted messages to uplift others, young girls, people who have felt inferior, those who think their voice doesn't matter. One of her strongest riposts came when someone commented, "So you stop run-fi man?" Her reply, "Yep, did a run-fi by a house but he bought us one. Wanted to travel the world, business, he is investing." She affirmed that she still has ambitions, that she and Lyles support each other's dreams. She also leaned into faith and self-worth, reminders that value doesn't depend on the approval of strangers, that boundaries matter, that respect starts with believing in yourself. Lyles' role, an ally in the storm. Noah Lyles has not just watched from the sidelines. He has publicly defended her more than once. He admires her courage, calls her a survivor, praises her mental strength. When she was under attack, when people were dragging her name and assuming her motivations, he spoke out. "I want to give her the flowers she deserves now," he said. "She has been through so much. She is representing Jamaica on the world stage since she was 8. His support is not performative, it's consistent. He acknowledges the hurt. He acknowledges her successes. He lifts her in public, even when the story could be framed otherwise. Their bond becomes part of the resistance, proof that love, when healthy, doesn't shy away from controversy. It stands up. What this all means, themes beyond the headlines. This is more than a celebrity story, more than sports drama. What's happening with Junelle Bromfield's experience touches on several important broader ideas. Colorism and colonial legacies. Even in majority black societies, skin shade biases persist. Bromfield speaking out about colorism in Jamaica sheds light on how modern patriarchy, media, culture, and external perceptions amplify internal divisions. Privacy versus public expectation. When you're famous, especially in a couple with 2 elite athletes, the boundary between public and private life gets blurry. Something said in a podcast becomes viral. A personal revelation becomes fuel for rumors. Bromfield and Lyles' situation shows the cost of that exposure, and perhaps the need for more responsibility in public discourse. Women, athletes, and the pressure cooker. Female athletes often carry dual burdens, performance on the field and how they are perceived of it. Every relationship, every word becomes fodder. Bromfield's journey is a case study in maintaining integrity, focus, and mental health amidst that pressure. Resilience is resistance. To endure hate, to respond, or choose not to carry on training, to show up, to love, to build. These can all be acts of resistance. Bromfield isn't just surviving. She is crafting a narrative of strength. She is pushing back at the idea that criticism should silence someone. The turning point, from criticism to empowerment. Moments in her journey mark shifts. Her Instagram post about online abuse. She opened up about the death threats, the bullying, the disappointment, but also about self-affirmation, telling young girls and black women they are beautiful no matter their shade or shape. When Lyles publicly defended her, acknowledging her long history with Jamaican track and her courage, that bolstered her voice, made it harder for detractors to isolate her. Clapping back at comments in her feed, not with hatred but with statements of fact and pride, about the things she has built, the support she has received, the things she has accomplished. These are moments when the narrative shifts, from victim to agent, from reaction to action. What might lie ahead? Her return to competitive track. Many are watching to see when Bromfield will be fully back, and with what energy. The hiatus has stirred speculation, but when she returns, I believe she will come back with more than just strength, with vision. The wedding, planned for 2026 beyond the romantic symbolism, it's a public reaffirmation of their partnership and journey. Public milestones like this can invite more scrutiny, but also more opportunity to show love publicly, on their own terms. Using her platform, she has already been inspirational, speaking directly to women about colorism, beauty, identity. I imagine she'll lean further into advocacy, mental health, women in sport, racial identity, retaining self-definition. The long game is whether she and those close to her can continually hold the narrative, not let critics define her. Given her track record, she seems well on her way. Glowing star conclusion, owning the track, owning the narrative. Junelle Bromfield's story is one of more than just sprinting fast. It's about running through criticism, not around it. It's about acknowledging what hurts, speaking what must be said, and living with integrity. Yes, she has supporters. Yes, she has critics. But the power in her story is that she refuses to let the critics write the end. She shows us that to be loud, when your voice is questioned, to be vulnerable, when your authenticity is attacked. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.